Very well. So we are here and we're going to talk about something special. Let's just talk about what we have in our midst. Of course, we're going to talk about Jules Koundé. We're also going to talk about Alexander Isak, and of course, Andre Onana has been given a word of advice. But more importantly, will he join Arsenal in the summer transfer? Sorry, in the before the upcoming transfer window, or more importantly, what is the plan of Arsenal for Bernd Leno? We're going to talk about that also. Also, we're also going to talk about um, David Luiz has admitted the help he got from Pablo Mari for his flamenco move, and of course, Kevin Campbell has a word of advice for Arsenal regarding Bernd Leno. So the first news that we have is Anthony Taylor has been appointed referee for this week's match against Burnley. So that's actually something positive. Let's see how things will turn out. But the red card to Reece James. Let's talk about more stuff. Let's talk about Takahiro Tomiyasu. So in his recent Arsenal interview, he said a lot of things, but this is the most important quote that anyone would love to hear. But he said that in this moment, there are two Japanese players, including me and Minamino, playing in Liverpool. Playing in the Premier League is difficult for Japanese players because the Premier League is so physical. But I think I'm ready to play in the Premier League. For me, it does not matter. The most important thing is to play in the game. So if the coach told me you have to play a striker, I would play a striker. I can play with both feet. I can play each position as a defender, and I'm an intelligent player. So I can always read the next situation. I never imagined that I could play as a player of Arsenal, so I'm excited. I'm buzzing to be here because Arsenal is one of the biggest clubs in the world. To play in the Premier League was my big dream when I was young. So Take has clearly mentioned he is definitely ready to go on the line of fire if the manager decides that, you know what, Take, I wanted to play wherever I want you to. Please, can you do it? And of course, he believes that yes, he can do that. So you got to have those kind of players who are down to earth, man. Moving on, so Ivan Tony says, I don't see Arsenal winning anything anytime soon unless they sign a striker. All right. Enough of Ivan Tony today. Moving on, so talking about more stuff, well, AJ Wood has confirmed, Aiden J. Wood has confirmed that Arsenal have already started looking into potential signings for January and the summer transfer window. A holding midfielder still remains of interest as well as a striker, but the money spent won't be the same we have seen so far. I highly doubt it. I think Arsenal are going to make two different kind of marquee signings, or someone who might be a low-key, low-profile but would definitely add up to the system. That's the whole idea, and that's the whole picture that is going to be the case. So moving on, so Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Bukayo Saka is being targeted by a lot of clubs. He says some clubs in his Here We Go podcast, he said some clubs are starting to approach Bukayo Saka, but Arsenal consider him untouchable. They are planning to build on players like Saka, young core for the next few years. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty much clear Saka is being wanted and would even be hunted by some kind of clubs. But yes, it looks like Arsenal isn't untouchable. He will not be regarded to be sold off anytime soon at all. Moving on, Lee Dixon has heaped praise on Arsenal youngster Bukayo Saka's performances, and he has tipped him to become an absolute superstar in the future. He says, you forget what an age Saka is playing like. He was basically one of the two who carried the Arsenal team last season. For such a young player, everybody was looking at him to change a game, to win a game. And he's come into this English side. Certainly in the Euros, he was one that got the ball. We saw he's got a pass, he's got a cross, he's got the ability to take players on and commit players. He's going to be an absolute superstar. I'm pretty sure of that. And that was really good. So that's the lovely thing that you'd want to hear from your club legends, man. That's really crazy stuff to say. Moving on, so Prime Barcelona. Arsenal fans say that the same thing about after watching Everton versus Burnley. They believe that Burnley improved on their performances because Burnley really did not have a very good start to life in the Premier League at all. So I think they've conceded some good amount of goals, scored only 3 goals until now, 0 wins, but that could change. Some Arsenal fans believe that Burnley are going to turn into prime Barcelona. One of them said that now watch Arsenal struggle with Burnley on Saturday. Another one said Arsenal best be watching this and taking notes. This is how you dismantle Burnley. Another one said Burnley will be loving all the Arsenal freebie and Arsenal don't like it up and tackles on Saturday now. Another one said Burnley look awful. I cannot wait for Arsenal to make them look like prime Barcelona on Saturday. Another one said going to be sickening when we can't score against Burnley. Another one said Everton showing how to beat Burnley now Arsenal. So a lot of Arsenal fans believe, I think I'm pretty much sure, I think this is fine. You get to see these kind of things a lot these days, so it's completely fine, I think. Yeah, it's up to Mikel Arteta to turn it around and to keep winning. That's all up to him, so I'm not going to comment on this one. But moving on, there was a moment in time when Arsenal were facing Norwich and Mikel Arteta showed his frustration with Nicola Pepe, and yeah, there was a drama. So Arsenal have posted their bench cam video of the season, first bench cam video of the season. So a common theme for his frustration was the number of chances his side missed before and after Aubameyang had broken the deadlock. Nicola Pepe, Emil Smith-Rowe and debutant Takahiro had chances to make the scoreline look a lot more comfortable. So if you actually go to Arsenal's official YouTube account and check out the bench cam video, 5.09 minute mark, you can find out that Arteta clearly wanted Pepe, who was quietly become a core member of his side, to play quicker after latching onto a diagonal pass from Ben White. So certain Arsenal fans have reacted to it. So one of them said that you can see Arteta's frustrated by how many touches Pepe is taking to control the ball. He has had a good performance, but he needs to be quicker receiving the ball. Another one said too many touches slowing down the game totally ruined the effectiveness of the pinpoint pass and gave the time for defenders to get back into the position. So that happened. That really happened. The first touches of Nicola Pepe was really, really frustrating. You can actually see Arteta shouting out his frustration as well. So I hope that changes in the next game. Of course, touches are something that you can definitely work on. So let's move on with that. So a massive Isak bid from Arsenal is expected. Well, yes, that is the case. Well, Isak instead put those rumors to bed by signing a new bumper deal. So his exit clause has now risen to around 100 million euros. That's a problem. Nonetheless, reports in Spain claim that Arsenal are undeterred and are desperate to bring Isak in. So, Football.London's Arsenal expert Chris Wheatley admits Isak is on Arsenal's shopping list and that a striker is now Arteta's #1 priority. So, let's see how things will turn out. #1 priority does not mean that you get Alex Isak. One of the very good players, man, in the game, but just a very good player. Moving on, so it looks like Erik ten Hag wants Onana to sign a new deal with Ajax rather than join Arsenal. So that's also the case. So Ten Hag says, I think it's best for all parties to extend his contract and I also recommend this to Onana. Onana will definitely take my advice into account and then he and his entourage will have to decide. We put him on the squad list for the Champions League and this hasn't been done without reason. I am very grateful to him for what he has done for Ajax and for me in recent years. If the club needs him, I will definitely push for him to be able to stay. That's the word of advice from Ten Hag. He wants Onana to stay. But do you want Onana to stay or rather come to Arsenal? Do you want Onana to come to Arsenal? If Onana comes to Arsenal, what does that mean for Ramsdale being the #1 keeper? Let's see what happens. According to Paul Vegas, David Luiz admits that Arsenal defender Pablo Mari influence on his Flamengo deal. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the reasons why we love David. Moving on, Kevin Campbell has urged Arsenal to cash in on Leno if he won't sign a new deal. He spoke to Football Insider. He says, take what you can. If Leno is not going to sign a new deal, the one thing you don't do is diminish his price by not playing him at all this season. You have to be a little bit cuter. Let's be honest though, Ramsdale has been brought in to be #1. You do not spend that kind of money on a second choice goalkeeper. 100%, I think I'm pretty much sure I agree with this. You don't pay that much amount of money for a second #2. You don't do that, so it's pretty much clear. But let's talk about Jules Koundé. Chelsea remain in hunt for Jules Koundé, although they might face competition from Arsenal and Tottenham. According to Transfer Market Web, Arsenal and Tottenham are amongst the clubs challenging Chelsea for the signature of Jules Koundé. The Blues are still considered frontrunners for the Sevilla defender, although things could change dramatically in the next window. I doubt that, but let's see how things will turn out to be. Let's see if it changes, if it does, how exactly it does change. So With this, I'd like to end this episode. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Jules Koundé deal, Isak, and of course Onana coming to Arsenal. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, cheers.